I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. And I was like, if I don't figure that out, at least I'll have a job.
And that actually amounted to a lot of interviews that I got.
I grew up playing video games, and that's how I got into coding.
So we've only taken 2 CS classes.
When I was swimming in high school, I was going to be recruited.
I'm doing cryptography research.
well, we only know 2, so okay.
Wow,
But
that's a hot take. Yo, what's up? What year are you and what do you study?
I'm a senior and I'm studying computer science and math.
I'm a third year student at NYU, and I'm studying computer science.
I'm a second year and I'm studying applied psychology and computer science.
I'm a second year as well, and I'm studying computer science and data science.
Walk me through why you decided to come to NYU.
I came to NYU because it has a good math program, specifically its grad program.
I'm from Houston.
Okay.
And I swam all my life. Like, competitive swimming has been just a part of my past 15 years of my life. And when I was swimming in high school, I was going to be recruited. I was looking for teams to swim on, and NYU was one of them. And so they basically said, if you get in, then we'll have you.
New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a good place with like a lot of opportunities.
NYU has a lot of resources as well, so yeah.
Cool. Have you had the chance to go to one of the global campuses?
I'm studying abroad next semester in Madrid, so
Ooh.
I'm so excited.
Wait, there's an NYU in Madrid?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Oh,
NYU
that's
in
crazy.
Madrid.
I know
Yeah.
there's like the Singapore.
I think Shanghai, Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I think Florence
Paris.
too. There's like a bunch of
Hey.
places.
And why'd you decide to study CS?
Halfway through, when I was like almost done with my math major, I realized I didn't want to keep on doing math. I got a little too abstract, so I wanted to shift over into something more practical. So that's why I went into CS.
Didn't work out as well as I wanted to, and this is also when I started to have like a growing passion in everything computer science. And so then I left the team and then doubled down on my studies and in my career now.
So I came in as like a psych major, and then I started coding like beginning of spring semester my freshman year. I think it's fun. So I like building things, so that's like one thing I noticed when I started coding.
So I came in not knowing what I want to major in, but like computer science obviously is the safest option career-wise.
How has recruiting and interviewing been? So you probably looked for internships during your 4 years here. Walk me through what that looked like.
I actually have not.
Okay.
I've been doing more research. So like right now I'm doing cryptography research with a professor.
Okay.
But I'm like trying to transition into maybe like internships and recruiting. So I don't know. I'm not the person you want to ask for that.
I was working at a company this past summer, did a lot, like I made a habit, like I made it like a initiative for myself to basically do like 1 to 2 lead code problems a day. And so I've kept up with that up until this point. And then in August is when I really started reaching out to a lot of friends that were at companies I wanted to be at. And I basically told them, hey, like, could you send in a good word for me to your recruiter? And that actually amounted to a lot of interviews that I got. And so this past month has been like pretty busy for me. A lot of final rounds. I'm pretty sure I took off like a week and a half to do those final rounds. Some companies came back, not the decision I wanted, but there's definitely still like a fallback from my previous internship.
If you're comfortable sharing, where have you interned and what did you do at those companies?
I did intern at Apple as an iOS dev on one of the internal tools teams. That was a really cool experience. It was a lot of front-end work, and of course dealing with Swift. And then this past summer I was at Wayfair on the searches and recommendations team, so that was strictly back-end.
Before more interviews, I want to tell you about 1Password, a product I love and have used for many years. Back in the day, I was probably like many of you. I used an easily guessable password for all my accounts, which meant if anyone figured out that string, they'd have access to all my bank information, social profiles, and personal details. Now, because weak and reused passwords are often the leading cause of security incidents, using a password manager is an easy way to protect yourself, your family, and your business. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, why not just use my browser password manager like Keychain on Safari or Google Passwords on Chrome? And the simple answer is, if your iCloud or Google account gets hacked, then the malicious actor will have access to your entire password vaults. So instead, I'd rather use 1Password, an easy to use solution that helps me store, manage, and use all types of sensitive data, including passwords, SSH keys, and even credit cards. So my family and I can rest easy knowing we have best-in-class security and actionable monitoring alerts. It's also super easy to set up. You simply come up with a strong master password, and that unlocks the rest of your vault. So for individual logins, you can simply randomly generate strings of gibberish, which are close to impossible to crack. Download 1Password today using my special link in the description for 50% off. Now let's talk to some more engineers. Tell me about the hardest class you've taken in CS.
I think the hardest CS class, there was a basic algorithms class that was, I think most people consider the hardest just because it's kind of math heavy, but it's not one of those classes that I think you can study for so easily because you're, given a problem and you have to kind of just come up with a solution on the spot.
So I'd want to say the hardest class I've taken so far is computer security.
Okay.
So security is the concepts were really interesting, but like when you break it down to like the actual underlying systems, it got really confusing.
Yeah.
For me, and then like one of the projects we actually had to build was like the SIG protocol.
Okay.
Using Go. And so like the SIG protocol like basically is the end-to-end encryption that like a lot of messaging systems use today. So like you think like Messenger.
So we've both only taken 2 CS classes.
We're in CS 101 together. So we're learning Java.
Yeah, it's like the intro class.
It's an intro class, but we're like doing object-oriented programming and a little bit lost, but
Yeah,
excited.
but it's surviving.
Yeah, so it's like we're still like
New into
blooming, like
Yeah,
breaking into it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the best programming language and what's the worst?
I don't think I'm qualified to answer this, but initially I didn't really like Python because I thought it was very like pure, so to speak.
Yeah.
But as I've been using it, I do really like it because I feel like at some point you want to take out the programming language out of the programming language and you just want to be able to solve problems.
Yeah.
So Python really helps you just go and delve right into a problem without having to worry about the specifics of the language.
And worst?
Worst, I can't say. I don't know. I don't have enough knowledge about them to go after one.
My favorite is like, people are gonna hate, but like Java. But it's just because I was like taught and I'm what I'm most comfortable with. I actually do interview in Java, so like.
Wow.
But
that's a hot take. Okay.
The worst programming language gotta be like it's just the most obscure, like OCaml.
well, we only know 2. So best programming language is Python. Worst programming language Java.
What year are you and what do you study?
I'm a first-year graduate student at NYU Quran studying information systems.
I'm a 4th year studying computer science and data science at NYU.
My name is Taiwo, and I'm a senior at NYU. I'm studying computer science.
So why'd you decide to come to NYU?
You know, firstly because it's NYC and it's the vibe, and there's many startups here.
Luck. And, you know, just wanting to be here.
Okay, nice. And then you got in. Why did you decide to come here over everywhere else?
New York City, and, you know, I wanted to leave home, so I chose somewhere that was not close to home.
It was one of the best schools that accepted me, and I mean, I like the city, so why not?
Now that you're here, do you think it was the right decision?
It is definitely the rightest decision I've made. The professors and my peers are just kind and they're like talented. I can learn a lot from both of my professors and my classmates.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. I really like NYU, and I like being in the city. It made me mature more, for sure.
Okay. Why did you decide to study information systems?
When I applied to graduate program, I sort of like applied to computer science and information system at the same time because they're equal.
Okay.
I've been accepted to many other like computer science programs in other schools, but like NYU only accepted me for information systems, and I love NYU, so that's why I came here.
I studied computer science because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, and I was like, you know, if I don't figure that out, at least I'll have a job.
Okay.
But funny how that worked out, right?
I'm a big video game person, so I grew up playing video games, and that's how I got into coding, pretty much.
Have you interned anywhere before?
I interned for 2 summers.
Okay.
Those are both in like startups, smaller size companies.
Okay,
Yeah, both
got
are
it.
as like software engineer intern.
Nice. And if you're comfortable sharing, how much did each pay you?
It's probably like $600 per month. Yeah, it's not a lot. It's just internship. I get to learn something from, and I get to, you know, connect with the people in the tech industry. That's
For
the
sure.
main point I want to intern.
So my freshman year, I did a data analytics internship with the government. That was really insightful. Realized I didn't really want to do data analytics. Moved more into software engineering. And then I did was the MLH. They have like an internship alternative program that was really, really helpful for me. I learned like a bunch of skills that helped me in my next internship, which was at Amazon. And then after that, I ended up at MongoDB, which is where I'm going to be returning full time.
If you're comfortable sharing, tell me what you did at each of your internships and how much did they pay you?
I believe it was like $20 an hour for my data analytics internship.
Sure.
Amazon it translates to like 50 or 60. This is in Canadian dollars, by the
Yeah.
way, these first 2 internships. Mongo paid 50 American, if I'm not mistaken.
During my internships, I was mostly focused on mobile development
Okay.
for each year, because
Okay.
like once you start on something, they usually just keep putting you back on it.
Yeah.
So I've been doing mobile development for the past 3 years. I guess like salary, they pay pretty well. It's like 40 sometimes an hour.
Talk to me about the classes. How have they been? What's been maybe the hardest class you've taken and why?
For this semester, I've taken like operating system by Professor Frankie. It's definitely one of my hardest courses I've ever take. First of all, it's a graduate level course, and we have to code.
I'd say, honestly, my text and ideas class, that's just because I'm not a super good at writing. But I thought it was super fun because I got to learn about God.
I'd say the hardest class was probably basic algorithms. A lot of it was like going through like the questions that they'll typically ask at the interview and like solving them. Plus, there was just a lot of coursework.
What is the best programming language and what's the worst?
My best, C++ and Python.
Okay.
Because both of them are very like friendly to new programmers.
Sure.
And they have many libraries and packages you can use, and they have a big community.
Yeah.
Right now I'm studying Scheme. It's
Okay.
a very old language.
Yeah.
I would not say it's bad, but it's, it's quite counterintuitive to learn.
Hardest, I'd say, is probably like C. Easiest, Python.
I'm a big Java fan. I've
Okay.
been doing Java for years, so like that's definitely my #1 programming language. And worst for me is probably C++. I can't do it.
Sweet. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.